Alright, so we are going to find the volume of this ice cream cone using the formula. So our formula, based on our reference sheet, is volume equals 1/3 big B times H. Now remember, big B, we need to first start out by defining what that is. Big B represents the area of the base. Now with cones, spheres, and cylinders, it is always going to be a circle. That will always be your base, which means that you're going to replace big B with the area formula for our circle, which is A equals pi r, or radius squared. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite our volume formula to include the big B. So that would be volume equals 1/3 pi radius squared. I want to do that in orange. So pi radius squared, and then do not forget height. So all we did was replace big B with the actual formula for the area of a circle. Now we need to go ahead and define all of our terms here. So I want to define pi. So pi we know is 3.14, and we're going to be using that number instead of a pi button for this example. And then we also need to find our radius, which represents by r. So remember, the radius has to do with the circle. And a radius is halfway, the distance halfway across the circle. Now, this example gives us the diameter of 2 inches because that's the distance all the way across a circle. In order to find the radius, you need to divide it by 2. So we're going to find that our radius is 1 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and write that over here. Radius equals 1. The next thing we're going to look for is the height of the actual cone. A lot of times it's either shown as the center or off to the side like it is here. So the height for this example is 6 inches. So H equals 6. Now that we have defined all of those terms and identified all of them, we're going to substitute them into the formula, rewrite it, so then we can move on to solving. So volume equals 1/3. I'm replacing pi with 3.14. So remember, we're multiplying here each time, times radius squared, which is 1 squared, times the height, which is 6. So going through, you could either type all this into a calculator and it could solve it for you, or you have to go through the steps following PEMDAS. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We have to start with the 1 squared, and that's the same as doing 1 times 1, which is 1. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as the simplified version of that. So volume equals 1/3 times 3.14 times 1 times 6. Our next step that we could do in PEMDAS is multiplying. So we can go ahead and multiply all of these pieces together. And that includes the 1/3, or you can wait to divide it, whatever one is more comfortable for you, but I'm going to go ahead and do it all together. So 1/3 times 3.14 times 1 times 6 gives me 6.28. Now technically this is going to be in inches cubed because it is measuring volume, but when entering this answer on your Google form, just leave it as the number and enter 6.28. We were asked to round to the hundredths in this scenario, but since it is already rounded to the hundredths, which is 2 numbers after the decimal, then we are going to leave it as it is. If it was anything different, make sure you round it down based on the hundredths place. Now I do want to break down a little bit of what I did here to show you a way to do it easily on your calculator. Basically what you would do here is 3.14 times 1 times 6. You could do all that together on a calculator, even your phone calculator would be fine, and that would end up giving you 18.84. Now what I did there is I still have this 1/3 that I have to deal with, and that is the same as dividing by 3. So when I divided by 3, that's how I got 6.28. The keyword for this is tent, T-E-N-T. Hope this helps. If you do need any extra help with this topic, please go back and look for the video on week 3, assignment 4. It's the same topic. Hope this helps.